Hello and welcome back to TED Talks Truth and Reality about President Obama equals loss of personal individual freedom and traditional established American values and convictions. Over the last 25 or so discussions, I have been trying to explain to you that we are gradually seeing an erosion of those values, convictions, and traditions that people my age, and I'm 71 as I mentioned earlier, have seen and lived and grew up through. You of the younger generation have no idea what it was like once upon a time, and you imagine and you think, oh you old farts, shouldn't even be talking about, because you don't understand what's going on, because it's the electronic internet social media age. And I agree with we don't understand, but you don't understand that it's the same old, it's the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's the selfish, blind, unconscious individual being led around by someone else's verse and rhetoric, not having a mind of your own. Most of us have been lucky enough to make it through the landfill of crap that's been going on, because there are so many pitfalls and there are so many obstacles that you will encounter as you go along. We all do. That's life. That's what being alive is all about. It's being born, living a life hopefully of your own, and then we all eventually pass on to somewhere else. That is the big question. I have the answers that I found that satisfied my curiosity as to what is the rhyme and reason and purpose for us being here, and what is the greater picture, not the altruistic ideological views that President Obama and his minions and like-minded liberal progressives believe they can change the world, but that's not the objective of an individual. Our only objective, and I promise you, I will get you to understand how important you as an individual is in that grand scheme of things, because you can only control your own life. You can only change those aspects of your life in your immediate vicinity and environment, and the interaction that you have with others. You can't change the entire world until you change yourself. That's where the president and his unconscious followers are right now. They are so caught up in this vision of believing that they can change the world to their making, that in the process, underneath them, those people that are depending on leadership and guidance, honesty, truth, openness, transparency, are being let down. Our leaders are failing us. The corruption and deception and the pervasive lying that goes on in the world in general, in politics in particular. Some businesses, I'm sure, practice unfair rules and regulations, but that doesn't mean a handful of people have the right to create such a stink and smell and protest that they get the way of those liberal, progressive, closed-minded, unconscious, self-centered individuals trying to make the world in their image. For instance, right now we have all these protests and things going on against the fast food industry. They pick McDonald's because they're successful, and they pick Walmart because they're successful. And I don't know what it is. If they don't like people being successful and they're trying to tear them down to their lower base level. I don't know if that is the reason, but it seems to be, because that's the cause behind trying to get the effect of raising the minimum wage. Those blind people that are out there being paid or swayed or convinced that they're doing the right thing by protesting McDonald's and Walmart haven't a clue of what it is to run a small business. And maybe none of you will ever, because the way that the economy is going, the small businessman is getting squeezed and hurt the most. And the way the selfish plague or trend is going right now, those at the top don't even recognize those at the bottom. I used the example of Appalachian house with hot water and running water in an outhouse. Well, that's only because I've seen and had friends that grew up that way and turned into unbelievable, decent, upstanding, strong-willed, mostly religious, and great individuals. It doesn't matter where you start, it's where you end. And most of you people now in the politics have already started at a level that most only aspire to. So if you're there, you should appreciate it, and you should take it in with all the love and concern that you can for others, because they look up to you. And when you do drugs and you do crimes and you have these shoes and these shirts and these hats, they think, well, that's success. If I go get that hat, those shoes, those pants, wear my pants around my ankles, become a chic wannabe player, and imitate Justin Bieber and any of the other people who are lost souls. I mean, how in the world can they be role models when they're sitting there on top of the world ruining or abusing the success they have? And you read about all those superstars in the movie industry and the sports industry and the I don't know, any success. They forget where they came from, and they don't realize, oh, they'll get out there and do a commercial free and say don't abuse this or don't do that, and they might be closet abusers and doers of that. Who knows? Don't accept anyone else's advice except your mom, your dad, your preacher, your grandparents, your siblings first. You know them best. And then concentrate it all on yourself, digest it, absorb it, and rely on yourself. It's okay for you to be wrong in some mistakes, as long as it doesn't do harm to others. And if it does, try to correct it immediately. But you will make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. My entire story in Slow Down and Love, which we'll get into in a couple sessions, explains how you should learn from your mistakes, and don't be afraid of them, and don't allow them to crush you. Forgive yourself, because the whole key of what I've said up to this point, and maybe later on, if you like what I'm saying, later on you'll go back and listen to all the previous truth talks, because they set the foundation for what we're getting ready to transition into over the next couple talks. And I want you to understand that foundation and how I systematically said what I said in subsequent sessions, and why I open with the disparaging comments on the president. No one ever wants to criticize their president. Most voted for him, and they don't want to be foolish and thinking, oh, I picked a dud. And those that don't, they're going to object anyhow, because they never saw eye to eye or closely to the person they elected. And I want you to understand, no two people ever see eye to eye on the same topic or issue. It's just impossible. You have to be your own person in order to make the right decisions. And that's what our sessions are going to be about as we go forward. How to learn from your mistakes, how to avoid those mistakes by doing the right thing as much as you can, because it is a hard, conscious decision in the beginning that becomes automatic, just like your conditioned automatic behavior is right now. You unconsciously and blindly believe most of the crap you hear, or else you wouldn't be in this goofy extreme group, or in this mob, or in this riot, or this protester who has been led there by the nose by a silver tongue user of words to better their own position. I don't know how better to say it. The word charlatan, it might be a compliment. I don't know. It's worse than that. It's a deceiver. It's a person who is so blinded and narrow-minded and closed-minded on their own belief that they don't allow reality and truth to even enter. It is really a tunnel. It really is a dark world, and I describe that in such a way in the book that everyone could understand. And I have been trying since my very first talk to reach out and grab the youngster who still hasn't made the mistake, and grab the oldster who has made the mistakes, and get in there and help each other. We old-timers have some value still in our experiences and in some of our skills, especially some of them with the wisdom, if they got any by the time they get here. And you better get it out, because I'm starting to lose some of my wisdom, because it's getting harder and harder to think sometimes. But you understand that, you old-timers. But you youngsters need to understand that the secret to any success lies within, because you see all these celebrities and successful people still making the same mistakes you do, not enjoying life any more than you do, because I've seen the poorest families be the happiest families. And that's what it's all about. How do you make yourself and those around you happy? And that is going to be the secret of our journey as we go, because you'll be shocked how easy it is and always has been for you to instantly change your way of looking at things. And so I think I've probably talked much too long, and hopefully the next one I'll be able to continue, because I want to wrap up in the next one or two so I can get into the book. The book is my tool to convince you that what I'm about to get into you'll identify with, and you'll understand, and you'll comprehend, and you'll smile and say, boy, yeah, that was always that easy. But we'll find that out as we go along. So until we meet again, thank you and Godspeed.